giving that polling, do you feel like the race is slipping away?
I do not. I think certainly polling is a measure, but to be frank, if I'd listened to polls, I would have never run for my first or second office. I wouldn't be here talking with you. And what I am seeing are in states such as South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, historic turnout. Historic turnout.
Vice President Harris says she is not losing momentum in the race for the White House with just a week until Election Day. The final Fox News Power rankings forecasting a toss-up overall. And Karl Rove is here, and Bill Hemmer is at the board.
Hey, Karl, good morning to you. I want to tell you what we're doing up here in New York, okay? So this is the path to 270. Yesterday at this time, we had her at 225. We had Trump at 219. However, with our power rankings that came out earlier today, we believe Arizona is leaning Republican now. So for the course of this exercise, we're going to go ahead and give Arizona to Trump, which puts him at 230. Karl, yesterday, Michael Whatley, who heads the RNC, told Dana and me that he believes on Election Day they'll be ahead in Arizona, they'll be ahead in Nevada, and they'll be ahead in North Carolina. All right, if that's the case, Trump's at 252. Under that scenario, he would not have to win Georgia. He could go up to Pennsylvania and capture the 19 electoral votes that will put him at 271. Karl, I just want you to weigh in on what we're seeing, and I'll go ahead and reset this map here. So to you now, Karl.
Well, look, it's going to be absolutely close. As you say, Arizona appears to be his best state, and North Carolina appears to be going their way. More Republicans are voting in early voting than are Democrats, but the state has a very large group of unaffiliated independent voters. We don't know exactly how they're voting, but it's going to be close because, as you say, if he wins Georgia, the race is over. If he wins Pennsylvania and loses Georgia, the race is over. Because if he does take Nevada, Arizona, and North Carolina, it gets him within basically one of the 15, either one of the 15 or 19 state electoral votes. Michigan, Georgia 16, Pennsylvania 19. Any one of them puts him over the top.
The New York Times, Karl, a call for one here. This is the headline: Harris aides quietly grow more bullish on defeating Trump. Is that spin, or do they believe it?
Well, they better believe it. If it's spin, it's a sign of something. But look, each side has a reason to believe they can do this because the race is so close. Take a look at this. We're talking about 0.3% if you look at some of these aggregate averages in battleground states, or 0.7% separating the two candidates. A better quality ground game by one side or the other can more than make up for that. And we've got plenty of time between now and the election day for the 4 or 5% to split one way or the other. And they will split one way or the other. Maybe a small tilt to one side, but when we're this close in the 7 battleground states, moving one direction or another. For example, look, think about it. 4% of the population of the voters of Pennsylvania are Puerto Rican. How do you think they're reacting today about the comment at the rally by the comic at Madison Square Garden on Sunday? I mean, this is how little things can have a big impact in a race this close.
And he's headed there later today, and he could address that also. Karl, the other thing, I'm just listening to the commentary on the Harris side, and what I'm picking up is that they don't feel very good about North Carolina. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the red column. Nonetheless, okay, and look, I mean, Trump's knocking on the door at 246. Still, this blue wall was still up there, right? So if she holds on in Wisconsin, which historically is a really close state, by the way, we're going to show that on election night. And if she holds on to Michigan and holds on to Pennsylvania and then picks up that electoral vote in Omaha, she can win despite the strength of Trump in Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, and even Georgia. I mean, that would be something a week from tonight, Karl.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, if I were them, I'd worry less about the polls and more about the closing message. I think she made a big mistake by engaging on the issue of John Kelly's comments about Donald Trump being a fascist. She basically spent 2 days talking about that. And that's not a winning issue for her. Everybody who already thinks that or who will be touched by that is already in her camp. The problem she's got is that she's been a presidential candidate for less than 3 months. And the American people are saying, do I know enough about you to feel comfortable putting you in the Oval Office behind the Resolute desk for the next 4 years? So a better line for her is, he's going to come with an enemies list, but I'm going to come with a to-do list, and I'm going to spend most of my time talking about what that to-do list consists of. She made a mistake. If the campaign really does believe that they've made a big, step forward by emphasizing the fascist comment, look, and I get the hypocrisy of it. Trump has been calling her a fascist for weeks. So now he's whining, saying she's calling me a fascist. Well, that is not a winning issue for her. It's not a winning issue for him. But the American people, the small group of them who are up for grabs in this election, want to know, what are you going to do to make my life better for the next 4 years?
Yeah, since May of 21, we checked today, voters have told pollsters that the economy and inflation is their #1 issue. And I think everyone should just close on that. Tell us what they're going to do. Karl Rove, thanks. Good to have you.
I'm Steve Doocy. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.